That's right. I already hit Sports Select tonight for tonight's game. Last time we talked yesterday, I don't think you had talked to Cale Makar yet, but then he did speak to the media. He seemed very standoffish.
Yeah. I think when we spoke, I said we're going to speak to him in an hour, and I'd be stunned if he addressed any of the issues and just kind of gave us the old look. We've put out a press release, and we're not going to discuss any of that. But by opening, and good on him, I think, for opening up the press availability yesterday by reading off of a statement that he had written, and I thought it was really well done. Look, I know that it's not popular. What he's doing by holding his coach ransom to a degree, and also with, I know most people don't care that they didn't open up the dressing room to the media. I mean, who cares? It is important as a journalist. I'll tell you, that is the conduit to the fans, and you're insulting the fans when you do that. But I know most people don't see it that way. But I have to say, the Bruce Cassidy situation, it is so on brand with the Vegas Golden Knights and their owner, who's all about winning, and be damned anyone or anything else. All that matters is that we have the best chance to win. I think he has every right to do what he's done. The fact that it got aired out in public was not their choice. These things happen sometimes. Well, it's never happened that someone's turned down the opportunity to talk to a fired coach. But guess what? They have that right. And I don't buy that they're too busy focusing on the playoffs. They had 6 days off. They could have made a decision. But I think it's because, look, that 3, 4, 5 teams are going to be interested in your coach because he's the hottest commodity out there. You should be able to have a bit of a say on who may or may not get to interview him. So you want him to go to your number one chief rival in Edmonton? No, you don't. You want him to go to Vancouver where they're not winning for another 5 or 10 years? Absolutely you do. So you can help dictate that. I think they're taking a lot of heat on this when they probably shouldn't.
Do you think, because he mentioned that he's talked to Cassidy, do you honestly think he's talked to him? Was it maybe a text message or an email or a postcard of some sort?
A postcard. I don't know how they communicated, but they're big boys, right? He can pick up the phone and say, look, this has caused quite a stir all over the league. I want to tell you where we're coming from. And look, I'm not sure Cassidy probably liked the conversation or what the outcome is. But at the end of the day, I'd be willing to wager a whole lot of money that Bruce Cassidy will be coaching in the National Hockey League next year. So what if it has to be delayed by 2 weeks or a month and it doesn't suit the timelines of some of their chief rivals? Boo-hoo. All the more reason why you should not give the other teams a chance to talk to them.
Do you think that this might happen more often now or less often now that the Vegas Golden Knights maybe opened up this door?
I think it could happen more. I mean, it's precedent setting, and it's not popular, and maybe other teams don't want to feel that wrath. But these guys aren't scared to do it. And, look, the whole thing is, I don't want to say the whole thing's unprecedented because coaches have been fired with 5-8 games left in the season. But it's a very unique situation that they find themselves in right now. And I got no problem with it. Like, I kind of like that the Vegas Golden Knights wear that black hat in the league and are they're the LA Raiders of the National Hockey League. I'm okay with that.
New York Yankees, New England Patriots, public enemy number one. Great band, by the way. Avs practice line today. I'm looking. Makar was the only skater absent on the ice for the Avs.
No, it was an optional, so not everybody skated, but Makar is the only guy who they've declared out. Everybody else was kind of back up and missed practice or whatever. Lehkonen is back in. That's a big deal. Josh Manson's back in. Brett Burns is back in. But Cale Makar not being back in, that's a big, big, big one. Obviously the best defenseman in the world. And he came out and skated. We saw him about 45 minutes before practice. He came out and skated by himself for about 15 minutes, and then he left, and nobody was sure what to read into that. This guy has rarely skated on off days or in practices for the last 3 months because he's been so banged up. So everyone just assumed that he was still going to make it and play in the game because he hasn't missed a playoff game. Well, this is significant. And the only thing else that they say it's day to day. And, I think it's a whole lot more serious than they're going to let us know. that shoulder, the way he recoiled after he took that hit to his shoulder late that last game, that's scary. And add that up with the hip injury he had earlier and the leg injury he had before that, I'm like, we may not see Cale Makar for a while. And given the fact that the only thing that matters to this team, the only benchmark they have is cup or bust, right? They can afford to sit him out now, the next game, even the next game. But if they start becoming on the brink and losing games, that's when they have to make tough decisions and start risking his health for the short term and make him play.
I know what you're going to say, and you're going to look at me like I got rocks for brains because you've done this before. More important, missing tonight's game, Makar or Mark Stone?
Yeah, Stone's not even their best player. So, I know you're just asking the question. And Makar's the best defenseman in the world, period, end of sentence, will be for the next 5-10 years. He can control a game more so than Mark Stone ever could. Hey, Stone's their leader, and he's a great player. Stone did skate this morning by himself. By the way, the team didn't skate at all. He skated by himself at Ball Arena. They won't say a damn thing about injuries at this time of year, so he'll be a game-time decision. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Stone back before you see Makar back, but who knows with these things? That's just a gut feeling, So Stone is just one of 9 top forwards. Makar is the best defenseman they have.
Okay, so this is, and I'm really just trying to talk myself into that I'm still alive in some hockey drafts because I don't think Vegas is that far off. But when you go through what I'm looking at right now, Eric, are the lines, okay? You got Barbashev, Eichel, Dorofeyev. That line's been an absolute buzzsaw. So, yeah, on the other side, you got Landeskog, McKinnon, and Natchez, okay?
Yep.
So, McKinnon, unreal. I don't know if that Colorado first line is that much better than that Vegas first line, personally.
Man, I mean, what's fascinating to me, okay, I'll disagree because I think any line with McKinnon and Natchez on it is probably the best line in hockey, or right there. And Landeskog is a nice compliment. No, he doesn't get 80 points again, a point a game like he used to, but he plays other rules that allow the other two guys to be that good. What's fascinating to me, if you start delving into the lines, is the way that the teams have spread things out. Like Marner's on the second line. They've spread stars out there's a star on every line for the top 3 lines for each team, right? And that's what's so fascinating. And sorry, you were going to say something, but I want to count it off. There's 10 centers in this game, okay? 10 of them. And usually you're lucky if you have 3 or 4 that are real impact centers. Listen to these lineups. Eichel, Carlson, Hertl, and Nick Dowd. And the 5th center is Marner, played center, when for a good chunk of the season and was successful. On the other side, it's McKinnon, Nelson, Kadri's your 3rd line center. Jack Drury is a solid 4th liner, and Nicholas Waugh you got at the deadline to be a center, but he's now on your 2nd line as a winger. So there's just so much star power in this series. No other series can compare.
That's what I'm getting at, and I'm just talking myself into Vegas being okay, because this is how I talk to my son when they're at the playoffs, so that Bantam Hockey playoffs. I said, okay, that's their best guy, your best guy. Boom. Their guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. After that, you guys are deeper. Or a team's deeper, right? So I look at Vegas. You got Howden, Carlson, Marner, second line is what it looks like because Stone's not there. Saad, veteran experience, been through it. Hertl, veteran experience. He's got to have a coming out party. Sissons, veteran. And then Dowd, Kolazar, and Smith. Yeah, so on the other side, Colorado, you mentioned the guys. Kadri, I think, was such a beauty pickup for them late. One thing that maybe it's not that big of a deal anymore that I started thinking about today when I was going through my wagering, it's like 5,000 feet above sea level in Colorado. It's a different skate up there. Yeah, and
their record at home this year is, I think it's 39-6-1. They haven't lost in the playoffs yet at home. They've outscored their opponents this year at home in playoffs and regular season by 61 goals. So it is utter dominance. It's going to be, they've got T-shirts for everybody in the crowd tonight, sitting there waiting. It's going to be an absolute gong show. It's a tough building to play in. But again, with Makar being out, I'm with you. The more I look at the depth of Vegas, the more I start to squint and go, well, maybe. So I'm with you a little bit, because I came to this city here in Denver thinking, like, this team is just so to me, the trade for Kadri was that, that move where you're looking back at the end of the cup and go, that was the straw that broke the cap. That was the one that put them over the top. Like, you didn't even need to do that, but you did it, and it was just almost overkill just to make sure you get the cup. I know it's not that simple, but man, are they deep.
And I still think in this series, knock on wood, and I'm not wishing ill will on anyone, there's going to be a significant injury in this series that could change things one way or the other. I think both teams are going to play extremely hard. Something's going to happen, or maybe it's a suspension. I don't know. So while we were sitting here, I placed a couple of sprinkles, because I've been hitting these points a game, 2-guy parlay. I got Shea Theodore and Pavel Dorofeyev on one ticket to get a point each. Yeah. And then I got Howden and Eichel, real nice odds on this one, to get a point each. So we'll see how it goes. If you do get a chance, and I know you won't because you'll be up in the press box, grab one of those T-shirts. We could put it up in the Sports Cage studio. We'll be like, hey, Eric got us a playoff T-shirt from Colorado.
You're trying to put all my laundry up there, aren't you? Like, what else? I don't know what you're going to ask for next. You want one of my suits?
Well, I look behind you. You think you got an empty suitcase behind you, and I think I see that hoodie that your wife and kids don't like.
Funny story about the hoodie. So on the weekend, we went up to the cottage, or the cabin, and I always say about the cabin, and I think a lot of people who have cabins understand this when I say that's where all clothes go to die. Like, before throwing it out, you just say, I might as well just put it up at the cabin. We could sit around the fire with it, and who cares if you get a spark on you, or you know what I mean? Or I'm doing some work out in the bush, and it doesn't matter if it's ruined because it's just about to get thrown out. So my daughter was in my wife's closet looking for stuff. She's got some corporate internship, so she's wearing my wife's stuff every day. She goes, oh, you got Dad's hoodie in here. And my wife had stolen it because I brought it to Europe. She stole it when I came back and hid it and was going to throw it away. And I said, can you please bring it to the cottage so that we can get a referendum on this thing? I want everybody at the lake to vote on whether it's yay or nay. And Dude, we never got around to it. But when that referendum happens, I'm going to let you know whether I was verified or vilified.
Does Sylvan Lake have a Canada Day parade? Like a lot of town sites and cabins. If that, you put a float in and just you standing there and get people to vote while you run through the parade. There's an idea. Just get it all out. I might come and help you with that. I'll drive up from Whitefish.
I love it. Look, I should put that as my avatar on Twitter, just to really irk my wife. That's a good idea. I'm gonna do that.
Okay, clean up that suitcase in the back next time. We'll regroup. Have a good one tonight. Grab me one of those T-shirts.
Do you think I brought enough underwear? I'm here for a month. Like, just tell me. I don't know. Anyway, we'll talk about that next.
You can skip the dishes those now from like Giant Tiger and places if you run out.
You get underwear delivered?
You can get anything delivered. Yeah, Instacart lets you pick your bananas. You've heard the song.
Okay, let's do this. If you are traveling for a month, how many pairs of underwear do you bring?
You got to do laundry. I've done through this in Europe. I did laundry. I tried to figure out a washing machine and drying machine and finish. I was like, come on. Yeah. Anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think the answer is 7 or 8 because intermittently you're going to have to do the laundry, and there you go. Okay.
That's why I'm just going to yoga pants and I won't wear underwear. All right. There's our NHL insider, Eric Francis, brought to you by Sports Select.